On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast, brought to you by Atlantic CocaCola Bottling Company, Cenex, Iowa's Corn Farmers, Green State Credit Union, Quick Star, and by University of Iowa Healthcare. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
At this airing of Fight for Iowa, the Hawkeye football team is 2/3 of the way through spring practice. The defense is searching for new starters at end, cornerback, and safety. Graduated are all Big Ten performers Zach Van Vaulkenberg, Matt Hankins, and Jack Koerner. That said, the cupboard remains stocked with talent. This is Iowa's defense, after all. Stars leave the galaxy and new ones arrive. Some remain, like cornerback Riley Moss and linebackers Jack Campbell and Seth Benson. They speak to this fall's defense and Coach Phil Parker's way on this week's Fight for Iowa in just a minute.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
It's been a long day. Your schedule's tight. Can we just take care of dinner for you? Quick Star has take-home meals, not cheap flash frozen stuff. Made from scratch, fresh, never frozen. Great quality because we make it ourselves. Grab a meal now to heat and eat later. Great kitchen cravings meals like fettuccine alfredo with grilled chicken, meatloaf with mashed potatoes and gravy, roast turkey with dressing and mashed potatoes. I feel a meal, a great family meal coming on that you didn't even have to cook. Quick Star, we got you covered.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
On its way to a 10-win season, West Division title, and berth in the Big Ten football championship game last December, Iowa's defense was once again the catalyst. A nation-leading and school record 24 interceptions were generated by 11 different players, the most since 1997, when All-American Jared DeVries and Epinesa were putting pressure on the quarterback, making things a little easier for the back end that featured the likes of Matt Bowen, Kerry Cooks, and Eric Thigpen. 25 years later, All-American Riley Moss leads the secondary. The Big Ten's DB of the year returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns in a season-opening victory over Indiana and has 10 career picks. Yet the Ankeny Centennial product decided to come back for one more year for multiple reasons. A knee injury followed his 4th interception of the year in the Hawkeyes' supercharged win over Penn State, and Moss missed the next 3 games. Expectedly, the doubters regarding Moss' future returned, but the knee is 100%, and Riley Moss is more than willing to prove himself all over again.
It's nice to get back here, and I'm not taking 100% of the reps, but it's good for those younger guys to kind of make steps in spring ball, so they're ready for the fall, and we can have some more depth. So if you have the 2s and 3s, being able to make plays like the 1s are, we'll be in a good spot, and that's what we're trying to do in spring ball. So
losing some key teammates in your end, back end of the field, and certainly Van Vaulkenberg. Yet it's Iowa defense. So what are you learning this spring?
Like I said, it's just reloading and repeat. We do this every year, and it tends to happen. We lose some good guys, some big guys, and people start getting nervous. Are we going to be good? You're losing all this talent, and the thing about Iowa football is we just reload, and I think that's my favorite part about this program is you don't have to be a 5-star, 4-star to see the field and make a difference. So just getting those younger guys in the program and understanding that they have a role and they have to uphold that role, and it'll make the team better. So,
why'd you come back? Hawk fans are delighted. We're all happy for you. Could have moved on. You decided to come back. What went into that decision?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that went into that decision. I'd say, I got some stuff back from scouts, and that I knew exactly what they were going to say. My arms aren't long enough. I'm not fast enough. And to be honest with you, I don't agree at all. And that's perfect because I'm in control of it too. So that's my favorite thing. I came back because, I love playing Iowa football, and this has been my dream since I was a kid. And, the NFL will always be there for me. So I'm not really worried about the money at all. I'm worried about the memories and being with my teammates and making this program better and kind of giving my knowledge and passing it down to the younger guys. So
you get to play for Phil Parker for one more year at least. But you've got some help. Kayvon is back, Jamari, Terry, and then some new components like Xavier Wampa and other veterans that have to jump in there. How do you feel about the secondary?
I'm excited. We have a lot of capable people in the back end, and that's why we're in spring ball is to get those guys going so they can perform at the highest level. And it's nice to be able to have depth, like I said, and having Kayvon and Jamar back and T-Rob, we'll have good depth there, and then we get these young guys going. We'll be looking good.
Moss' 10 career interceptions is one thing. His 239 return yards rank second among Iowa's career leaders. Only Tyler Sash churned more. His 3 pick sixes tied Desmond King and Tom Knight for the most in school history. Moss and the secondary's compact, consolidated play last year allowed Iowa's ultra-physical linebackers to be even more aggressive. All-American, All-Big Ten, and Butkus Awards semifinalist Jack Campbell bullied his way to 140 tackles, the first Hawkeye to reach the century mark since Josie Jewell in 2017. And then Iowa featured a double whammy. Veteran Seth Benson likewise was north of 100 stops. Whether from Cedar Falls or Sioux Falls, that Midwestern work ethic and behaviorism serves Benson and Campbell well.
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to I don't have the opportunity to be out there right now, but I'm just trying to pick up on as much as I can right now, just all the offensive terminology, also the splits, eyes, just get to a place where I can kind of know where the ball's going before the play's been snapped. And you don't really got to be out there for that, and I can just kind of see that off to the sideline or behind.
Guys I've talked to, Seth, NFL or college, learn a lot from this viewpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to have that mindset that even if you're not out there, that you can still learn more. And I'd echo everything Jack's saying, and also just helping out the young guys. Because sometimes it'd be a whirlwind out there when you're first coming in, but helping them, slow it down for them so they can improve, and we're all in that situation. So just trying to lead them along as well.
Jack, Hawk fans were elated when you said you were going to come back and play this year. What are you working on? Where do you need to improve?
Yeah, I got to improve just at the point of attack. I feel like being a little bit more of a linear linebacker, just carrying my body low, finishing through runs, not letting the running back carry me for an extra 2 or 3 yards. Also just knowledge of football, trying to put my teammates in the best place where they can go make a play. But then also just like Seth was just saying, just trying to be a leader, get these young guys developed, because that's the blueprint of this program is the older guys always teach the younger guys, and that's something I've been just trying to work on as well. So.
Sioux Falls, based on what I'm looking at, even though you guys lost some key pieces, Van Vaulkenberg and others from this 10-wins team of a year ago, I like what I'm seeing here. Granted, it's only April.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time people leave, you got new guys stepping up, and you just got to have that mentality that you never know when your opportunity is going to arise. And if you work every day with that mindset, doesn't matter how old you are, whenever you have the opportunity, you'll step in and do your job, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Whoever's out there is going to get the job done and have a blast doing it.
One more question, guys. For years we've heard tight end U here at the University of Iowa, but the linebackers are just as famous. And I get asked a lot, what are the key components of playing linebacker at Iowa in Phil Parker's system? What's most important?
I'd say just showing up every day, having a great attitude, and giving great effort. It's just really simple, but a lot of people try to make it a little bit too hard, and even at times I make it too hard. But just showing up and having a good mindset, and then just being around these coaches. Obviously, it starts with Coach Wallace with the linebackers. He just does an outstanding job of pushing us and getting the best out of us, and then you just fit into Coach Parker's scheme and just play to the best of your ability. That's about it for me. So
it sounds like Big Ten football, Seth.
Yeah, attitude, effort, buying into the system, going out there each and every day, and connecting with your teammates, and that's when you'll be able to go out there and do what we need to do.
Benson and Campbell are big play competitors. Campbell had a fumble return for a touchdown against Iowa State last September, and Benson picked off a pass against the Cyclones. As is usually the case, former Hawkeyes, now in the NFL, return to the football facility each spring to train and stay in playing shape before July camp. One alum who owns a pair of Super Bowl rings has a particular interest in the Hawkeyes' young offensive line. That's next on Fight for Iowa.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Expert care for sports injuries means getting back in the game sooner and stronger. I'm Dr. Brian Wolf, Director at University of Iowa Sports Medicine and Team Physician for the Iowa Hawkeyes. You should never play through pain. That's why our sports medicine experts are here for you with same-day, next-day, and evening appointments. For imaging, therapy, or surgery, choose the team the Iowa Hawkeyes choose. Schedule a visit at uihc.org/sportsmedicine.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
For 7 years in the National Football League, New England Patriots offensive lineman James Ferentz has been a survivor. From practice squad to the Super Bowl, the middle son of Kirk and Mary watched spring practice Saturday with a keen eye for Iowa's young offensive line. An all Big Ten guard center for his dad, James Ferentz appreciates this time of year. It's when you get better at everything football, mental focus and character in particular. Ferentz feels he's been blessed and lucky.
No, obviously I spent a year out of football, so things got off to a pretty rocky start. But I was fortunate to get an opportunity in Houston, and I like to think that I took it and I haven't looked back. So I'm just really grateful for everything that's come my way.
Well, you've played for some great coaches in Houston, obviously New England, Denver. You're well-traveled, but you're well-educated.
Yeah, like I said, I say lucky when I think about it. To get to start a career under Billy O'Brien, who I think is a really brilliant football mind, and then to get to play for Gary Kubiak for a few seasons too. I'm really grateful for my time with him. Just a completely different approach, but at the same time, I would consider him a great football genius. His team management, the game management, everything Gary did was just really incredible. And then obviously you go out and spend a little time with Belichick and his staff out in New England, and you talk about trying to really get a PhD in football. That was like the best spot to be.
A PhD in football. People wouldn't think that about Belichick, but he is such a reserved professor, isn't he?
Yeah. People will ask, what makes it so special, or what makes him so different? And, you explain it. It's like, no, we just literally focus on fundamentals every day. We do the same things every day. We talk about situations. And it's really elementary when you break it down, but it's every day, it's constant, and he's not going to accept anything except for your best.
Fundamentals and repetitive. That sounds like another head coach I know.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'm back in the team meeting room here in like 2010. It's like you kind of hear the same thing over and over, and you're like, I remember that one.
What, 3 Super Bowl rings?
I wish. I got 2.
You got 2? Okay.
Yeah, I got 2.
I thought you got one in Denver.
I did. One in Denver, one in New England, but we lost one in New England as well, up in Minneapolis.
That's what I'm thinking.
Nick Foles special, right? Yeah.
I guess when Tom Brady was around, I didn't think New England ever lost a Super Bowl, but he did lose a couple.
Yeah, he's definitely won more than he's lost, but you remember the ones you lose. They sting pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like Zach Johnson. He despises missing a cut, he told me. Yeah. And you have that competitive edge like he does. Lastly, James, you've played every position in the offensive line, I think, plus some fullback.
Yeah.
What have you enjoyed the most?
Center. It's the one I'm the best at, I'm the most natural at, and I'm probably the only appropriate height for. The rest of them, I was definitely the next man in. We were out of body, so no, center is definitely where I prefer to be. But you don't make it that long being a one-trick pony. So I had to, yeah, you played fullback. I was like, yeah, back in junior high, and I'll never forget. The running backs coach looks at me in the eyes and he goes, "Good, you have experience." And I was like, "Sure."
Junior high to the NFL. It's just football, right?
Yeah. Well, good guys block the bad guys, right? And that's all you got to do.
Lastly, it's good to have you back here in the practice center for spring football. What's changed, if anything? What do you like about coming back?
Nothing. It's the same practices I went through, and to me, it's appreciation just for the fundamentals of football, building good football players from the ground up, And I tell you what, this is a really fun group to watch. They're young, they're hungry, and they're improving. That's the one thing I kind of noticed as practice went on. Usually younger guys, you kind of see them wear at the end of practice, things start to dip. I saw the other end of it. I thought these guys got better as practice went. And, no, it was really fun watching them. And, you got to really commit or comment on Petrus. Just the command he brings when he steps into that huddle. I don't know how you really put it into words other than when you see it and you say a kid's got it, that's it. And guys, he make you feel a little bit better watching him, step into the huddle.
Great to see you, James.
Always, Dolph.
Back with more on Fight for Iowa in a minute.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company is proud to support the local communities in which we live, work, and play. Every day, Atlantic Coca-Cola bottling trucks continue to help the food and beverage supply chain by delivering products to retail outlets and those restaurants providing carry-out and delivery services. We know Iowans are resilient, and together we are strong.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
3 Hawkeye seniors have been named to the National Football Foundation Hampshire Honor Society. They include defensive end Zach Van Vaulkenberg. A 2-time All-Big Ten performer, Van Vaulkenberg has a 3.51 GPA in interdisciplinary studies. Kicker Caleb Shudak carries a 3.73 grade point average while earning bachelor's and master's degrees in civil and environmental engineering. And tight end Bryce Schulte earned a political science diploma with a 3.68 GPA. Iowa is one of 25 colleges and universities to have at least one honoree in each of the 16 years of recognition by the Hampshire Society. I'm Gary Dolphin. That's this week's Fight for Iowa. Happy Easter.
Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeyes Voice podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game day content, and more. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.